Welcome back to the channel. This is JC Audits here. We're talking about cars. We're talking about high vis. Look at this guy in high vis there. Look at his short. Look at his trousers. Absolutely great. High vis trousers. Brilliant. Absolutely new. Absolutely spanking new. And here we have also a private hire taxi with what looks like a Ford Mondeo. And it looks like it doesn't have any exhaust. I am very surprised, very surprised to see that vehicle.
Historical story. Sometimes it's fairly recent, plane crashes. Sometimes we're reaching back through the centuries. But in each case, somebody made a decision, somebody made a mistake. And at a certain point, I put my nerdy behavioral economist, social scientist hat on and try to figure out why they got things wrong and what we can all learn from them.
And listening to your podcast, I'm so struck by the story of our race is one of, we like to think about innovation and far-sighted bravery and philosophers, but actually all too often it's the story of absolutely cataclysmic miscalculations and poor decision-making.
It is, and the fact is that the poor decision-making is often very predictable because we tend to get things wrong in predictable ways. And you can see the disaster coming, and then you can say, well, hang on a minute, I've made that mistake, not with the same consequences, not with the same tragic implications.
You're wrong. Actually, when I was a kid, I was living not very far from the
airwaves, and there's a formation, in particular of a private media station called RTLM. The owners of that radio station were strongly associated with the ruling party in Rwanda, and they essentially just ran to any type of insurgency beginning, but ultimately they became part of a tool to attack. In the early 1990s, there was a wave of democratization, and Rwanda had the reintroduction of multiple political parties. So the ruling party at the time was facing twin threats. It was facing a threat on the one hand of dictatorship. And in the early 1990s, there was a wave of the Tutsi population were fighting alongside or supporting or directly aiding their wartime enemies. So that's a key factor. And there was a political calculation as well. At the time, there was also the category becomes one that is suspicious and is seen as sympathetic to or actually the enemy. That's at least the logic. That's the propaganda of the ruling party at the time. This is one of the ways that they essentially crafted a counterinsurgency strategies to say that the domestic Tutsi population were fighting alongside or supporting or directly aiding their wartime enemies. So that's a key factor. And there was a political calculation as well. At the time, there was also an effort to democratize Rwanda in the sense that there was the reintroduction of multi-party competition. Rwanda, like many African states through much of the 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, had been a single-party dictatorship. And in the early 1990s, there was a wave of democratization, and Rwanda had the reintroduction of multiple political parties. So the ruling party at the time was facing twin threats. It was facing a threat on the one hand from this Tutsi insurgency, and it was facing a political threat in the sense that there was the reintroduction of multi-party competition. Rwanda, like many African states through much of the 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, had been a single-party dictatorship. And in the early 1990s, there was a wave of democratization in Rwanda, an effort on one hand from this Tutsi-led insurgency, and was facing a political threat from a primarily Hutu domestic. And this is one of the ways that they essentially.
So look at this. CCTV there. Nice. CCTV. GC audits. GC audits.
Dated to roughly the same time period. Now, Haile Selassie found these fossils in 1997, and it still wasn't certain what species they represented.
Welcome back to JC Audits. Look at the Sikh love here. The Sikh love, father and son. You know, just really, really good. That embrace lasted so long. Look at the gestures, look at the love there. You know, it's just absolutely unbelievable. The peace, the love, the care. You know, this religion is amazing. Sikhism. To think that they're carrying very small ceremonial knives near their midriff is another matter. But, you know, these are really people. Why do you do it? Why do you do it? Because there's just nothing. There's nothing that I can understand why these people aren't converting other people. You know, because look at them. You don't get it. You don't get it. Because yeah, just absolutely unbelievable. What do you think? You know, this is JC Audits after all. Channel. This is JC Audits channel. Okay. JC Audits, interracial, multicultural. Here we are. Check out the body language. That's what UK is like today. Absolutely fantastic. Aren't we proud to live in the UK today? Hell yeah. JC Audits. JC Audits. Multicultural. That's what we're talking about.
How long will it take to get to NN188E? NN188ET.
Okay. So that was 2 languages. Marvellous. That's really impressive. I struggle to speak English. It reminds me of what it is. German's the easiest language. I learned some English when I was about 8 age. Everything's just like that. He's going to get sacked before he leaves. Can't wait to see Steve. Steve Lee? No. He's in Coventry. He must be like tied up by then.
JC Audits. Here we have Master Mechanic Steve. Don't know whether he's going to buy or not. He's probably going for a test drive. Oh yeah, it looks like he's going to do the deed. JC out.